What's up, guys? Chase Oliver 68 here, bringing you another video to my channel. Well, we all know that I guess there's some type of faction being involved. We didn't get much answers on Monday Night Raw, so I don't really know how to, kind of talk about what this is going to be about, what this faction's all about. But maybe I can give ideas about this faction. So if you guys don't know, at Survivor Series, 3 guys dressed up in black, sort of like Aces and Eights, except they didn't have masks, came out, and they attacked, they attacked Ryback. They attacked Ryback tonight on Monday Night Raw. Same type of ending. And it was Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins, and Rolan Reigns. These guys. They're here now. Finally, we get some new, fresh talent. A lot of fans thought I was kind of bitching about that these 3 fresh new guys were coming in and stuff like that. No, I wasn't bitching that they're here. I'm happy that they're here. But I just don't like how they were brought in. I think they could have been brought in a better way, a fresh new way, something that is different than the usual, oh God, random people helping the champion out. They could have been brought in into a different way. I'm happy that these guys are here. Now, some fans I don't know if all you guys agree, but some fans kind of just saying this is going to be the greatest fucking thing ever. Comparing it to the NWO out of a lot of things. And let me tell you guys something. No faction in today's WWE will never ever compare to what the NWO was. The reason why the NWO is so great, and I don't get why some fans just bash the NWO, because really, to be honest, we should be thanking the NWO for literally saving professional wrestling. They saved fucking professional wrestling from being so mediocre, so boring. It is ridiculous. But the NWO, what they did at the time when they turned Hogan heel, and the promos that they were cutting and everything about the NWO, it was fresh, it was innovative, it was new. There's no factions today that can bring something fresh, innovative, or new to the WWE, or even in professional wrestling. That goes for TNH or ROH. It's hard to really try to make something work when it's already been done in the past. I mean, you know what I'm saying? But other than that, don't compare it to the NWO, please. It can't be the NWO. The NWO was just something so special. They changed the landscape of professional wrestling, and it's hard to really see a faction that can change like the whole landscape of professional wrestling. Just not outside of professional wrestling, how people were acting, for life. I mean, I hear still people say NWO Wolfpack. Some people know what the NWO is still today. It's an impact changer for the business, and I don't think we're going to get anything like that anytime soon. WWE, TNA, ROH, PWG, whatever. I don't think we're going to get that anytime soon. But when you look at this faction, some say this is going to be one of the greatest scenes ever, and I can understand so. You may be happy for all these guys. You may love CM Punk, but don't forget there's also bad things that come out of factions. Not everything in a faction is picture perfect, squeaky clean. You know what I'm saying? Some things can turn out wrong. Now, let's look at the good side of things before I go into the bad about this faction. Good thing is, you kind of help CM Punk a little bit in a way where you kind of make CM Punk look bigger than he already is. I mean, right now CM Punk is the WWE champion, and I watch videos a lot. I watch a lot of people's videos. Some people, buy into the fact CM Punk is a top guy. Some people say that, CM Punk right now, I don't really feel him as WWE champion. Where am I putting that perspective? I am a CM Punk fan. I do not want to hear people say, you're not a CM Punk fan if you support him. If you don't support him. I support CM Punk 100%. Just because I may disagree with some of the shit that he's been doing as WWE champion does not mean I hate the guy. Sorry. I put my personal bias. I go, personal bias, to the side, bam, when I'm trying to make these videos. So sorry if I am being sort of professional, if you will, by not being too biased towards someone. Do I get biased somewhat towards Orton and get kind of mad when he loses? Yeah, I do. But do I say, oh, here's a terrible decision? No, I gave Dolph Ziggler his props the other day for beating Randy Orton. Do I get mad when R-Truth loses? Yeah, I do get mad. Little Chris gets mad. But do I say it was a terrible decision? No, I don't. I say it was a good decision, right decision. I am not biased when it comes to these videos. That's what I like. I don't like being biased towards a lot of people. I like to keep it real. And the thing is, I like CM Punk as WWE champion. I think he's well deserving of it. But his reign, I don't think it has impacted that much to the business. I feel like it's John Cena's 2007 reign. I mean, yeah, he held the belt for a long period of time, but what good came out of it? So, in a way, having these guys around CM Punk, it kind of helps his credibility a little bit, makes him look like, okay, this guy could be my boss. I mean, he has the mindset of being someone that could probably take control of you, could be your leader, could be your boss. I mean, he was the leader of the Nexus, so you would hope so that he would, have the type of ability to, be that type of guy. Then you go look at a Dean Ambrose. A lot of fans don't know this. Dean Ambrose is not a technical wrestler. This dude is like a stunt man. This dude is crazy. He's a crazy motherfucker. He's a good talent, though. Don't get me wrong. He's a good talent. He's not just all Crash TV. This guy's a very good talent, very good brawler. I really do like Dean Ambrose. And what could Dean Ambrose's role be in this? I mean, I guess you could probably say maybe enforcer type of deal, because every faction has that one big old bad enforcer. Rolan Reigns. Rolan Reigns, I really don't know much about Rolan Reigns, so I'm not going to judge him yet because I haven't seen that much work on him. But he could be someone maybe like, type of... I don't know how you would explain what Rolan Reigns' role be. Would he be like the third wheel out? Would he be like that one guy that, the other two may succeed and he'll be the third wheel out? Because I hope not, because we need new stars. I guess Rolan Reigns could be your mid-card threat. And then I look at Seth Rollins, and it totally screams to me he could be like Randall Keith Orton. I'm not even kidding. I mean, Seth Rollins, he's still learning. Like, Seth Rollins, he's a good in-ring talent, don't get me wrong. But he still has a lot to learn when it comes down to being a professional wrestler. He still has a lot to learn when it comes to mic work and all this other stuff. And so he's kind of like a Randy Orton. He's like the prodigy of the group. So you have those four, and then you have a good mic piece in Paul Heyman. So, that works too. But how can you make this faction work even better? What is missing from this faction? Really, to be honest, I say a guy that's big and physical. I think a type of big and physical guy is missing from this faction. Now, a lot of fans say, bring in Brock Lesnar. Well, Brock Lesnar barely shows up. So, who would you want to put in this situation? I say repackage Brodus Clay. I think if you repackage Brodus Clay maybe and put him into this faction would look legit as hell. Maybe even repackage Tensai. What do you guys think about that if you got another big guy instead? Comment down below that big guy. But I feel if they had a bigger guy, it would help their faction a lot, because these guys are not necessarily like, Batista size. Like when Evolution first came, you're like, you want to fuck with Evolution. You fuck with Evolution, you're fucking screwed. I mean, to be honest, that's when I see a faction, I want to see, okay, I can't fuck with these guys because these guys have all these pieces around them. And it just feels like they're missing that big, giant piece. One thing that I do have a problem with this faction is, yes, you do have Paul Heyman, but where's like the woo Ric Flair type of feel to it, the mentor type of feel to the professional wrestlers, to the younger guys. I feel that's kind of missing to this faction. Other than that, how can this faction be good? What will make this a good faction? What I think would make this a good faction if we get Rolan Reigns somewhere in the mid-card. Somewhere this guy can be a prime player in the mid-card division. Number 2, Dean Ambrose is going to start featuring into becoming maybe into a major star. Like not like John Cena-esque or, CM Punk-esque or Sheamus-esque, but, into a major star. Someone that could maybe one day, after he breaks off from this, threat for the World Heavyweight Championship. Seth Rollins, like I said, he's the Randy Orton type in this faction. Randy Orton type obviously means I feel like they might want to make this guy their world champion at some point. I mean, he became NXT champion. I know a lot of people say, what's the point about NXT champion? I mean, NXT championship is a big deal for some of these guys, and really they had the sense to put it on him. They felt like this guy could evolve into something bigger. So obviously, yes, you have to try to make Seth Rollins into a bigger star. Now, I'm not really huge on Seth Rollins, but still, you got to make him into a bigger star. And then you got CM Punk, who you need to make almost like when you had the NWO, when you had Evolution, when you had DX, the HBK, the Triple H of Evolution, the Hulk Hogan, the NWO. You have to make him the center point. You have to make him, keep him looking strong. And the thing about this faction is, I feel it's coming in at the wrong time. That's one of the bad things about this faction is the time that it's coming in. The time that this faction is coming in, I feel is just sloppy timing at best. I mean, if this would have came in at SummerSlam, I think that it would have been a better time frame, because then you would be able to build these guys a little bit more. But gee, who does CM Punk have to face in January? The Rock! So you expect me, as a wrestling fan, and expect a bunch of casuals who will be turning on their TV sets saying, Rocky, Rocky, to believe that The Rock will get punked out by Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins, and Rolan Reigns, with them only being in the company for about 2 months and a half. When we would see The Rock back in the old days, the olden days of professional wrestling, kick the living ass out of D-Generation ass, would fight off against the Ministry. I'm sorry, but I can't believe this shit. I would not be able to believe The Rock, out of all people, to be losing to those three guys, especially since they're not well established. I can see CM Punk getting the upper hand on The Rock, but I can't see The Rock getting his ass kicked by those three. I'm sorry. It's just not believable. Especially how big Rock is now. I mean, The Rock is huge. He's a huge motherfucker. He's going to go like that to these fuckers. I'm sorry. I can't believe it. So I really think that it's bad timing placement for this faction. You place this faction way too late in the game. Instead of bringing in these guys in the summertime, you bring them in with barely any time to make us really feel these guys are legit. You guys, them being a Ryback half the time, who once again is another star that's barely built up, featured in the main event scene, it's not going to make me say these guys are legit. No! These guys needed more time to build up, and that's probably one of my main gripes about it. Another thing is, I feel WWE could go lazy with this faction like they have done in factions in the past. I mean, D-Generation X, when it was near its tail end, it was pretty much just about Triple H. Whatever Triple H was doing, that was DX. I mean, and then afterwards, DX as a whole just broke off like that. Triple H was pretty much, the last person in DX. He was like the main thing. Then when we look at Evolution, I mean, Evolution, you could say there was a lot of flaws into them, and there was. I mean, a lot of people like to say Evolution was 100% perfect, but Randy Orton, when he left the group, there was no way he was ready to be the main event guy. I mean, they knew he wasn't ready when they took the belt off him in Unforgiven. And then you look at Legacy. Who benefited from Legacy most? The leader, Randall Keith Orton. See, the leader is not supposed to always benefit. I mean, at the end of Evolution, who benefited from Evolution? Of course, we can say Randy Orton, but Batista benefited the most because he beat the leader. He fought the power, and he won. And then Triple H and Ric Flair had their feud afterwards. See, the thing is about this faction, they have to make these guys really believable. They need to keep these guys going strong, core strong, into this type of area, because we can't have another Nexus where you bring in a bunch of young guys and then bullshit happens to them and we can't take them seriously. You can't have another Apple Core, whatever you want to call them, Wade Barrett's shitty faction, where one guy does break off and beat the leader and that one guy does not become relevant anymore on TV. I mean, really, to be honest, what you need to do with these guys is you have to literally make them into a force. You have to literally make us feel like it's Evolution again. I mean, first off, it's hard enough when CM Punk doesn't get enough clean wins as a heel champion. I know a lot of fans say that, but what made Evolution so great was because you knew Triple H could kick some people's asses. That's why some people want to step up to Triple H, because Triple H would kick your ass. And yeah, people can make the jokes about, oh, he sleeps with Stephanie, that's why he gets special privileges. But even then, with Evolution, your leader's supposed to look super strong. Your leader's supposed to look like he only needs help when he's getting too fucked up. And at times, it doesn't seem like that for CM Punk, especially with his heel run. WWE has made him into another chicken shit type of heel where the guys just come out there and they just feel like extra space. You can't make these guys feel like extra space. Every member needs to feel something to us. Every member needs to have a personality that we can either like or dislike. It doesn't matter. This faction really needs to have an impact on a lot of wrestling fans, and not only that, an impact for these superstars themselves, to the point where when we get feuds down the line in the future, these guys are going to either hate each other or like each other or be celebrated. I mean, this could become a faction, literally, that could be as good as Evolution. I'm not going to say as great as DX, the Ministry, the Nation of Domination, or the NWO. But this faction right here could be as good as Evolution. We could get, you know, CM Punk, a good mid-card guy. CM Punk really established, a good mid-card guy. A Dean Ambrose that's going to be a future star. And then the future maybe of the WWE and Seth Rollins, like a lot of people are projecting maybe. But still, you're going to get, we need to have that type of effect. We cannot have it where these guys just feel like random space blobs that come out when Punk is in trouble. That should not be them. What they should be are their own individuals looking to help their individual careers because of CM Punk, because they trust in Punk, and Punk doesn't need their help. Punk says, I only call you guys when I need you guys. I don't need you guys at all. Because I'm sorry, I just feel it's just bad placing and timing for these guys, and I don't really want these guys to end up having this faction, end up where, you know, Rock kicks their ass, makes them look embarrassed on TV, makes them look, you know, not legit, and then they get hurt from this, and then that Mania, they're totally forgotten, and these guys just want, like, two of them will be good, successful stars, and one of them could just be roaming around, or hell, even just one becoming a successful star, and the other two just roaming around, you know. I don't want that from this faction. I want every guy from this faction to benefit from it. So, what do you guys think about the faction? Do you think it could be a good faction? Now, put your personal bias aside. I am asking you, before you leave a comment, bias aside. Just put it aside and just say to yourself, looking at the names, looking at the timing, looking at the events of this faction, does this faction have a chance to succeed? I hope it does. I hope the WWE makes it succeed. But right now, where it's placed, and especially against who CM Punk has to go against, the great one himself, The Rock, I don't know if it's going to succeed for that very long. And I want it to succeed. I'm not trying to bash it. I want it to succeed. Just using a little thought power here. Saying that I think the timing is bad for it. Really, to be honest, I just feel that I hope it succeeds. But in my honest opinion, I feel it could massively fail and blow up in our faces. So, do you honestly think it could succeed? Leave your biased opinions out of it. I want your full-fledged opinions on this faction with the timing it was placed at. Can it succeed past the Royal Rumble? Can it succeed past WrestleMania? Will it be like a new Evolution or the Generation X that we could look back on and say, yeah, that faction was legit? Or will it be like a Legacy, a Core, or a Nexus where we're saying, yeah, you know, that faction was cool when it first came out. Then it became stupid. Leave your comments down below. Thank you guys for watching. I really hope to get, you know, you guys' true opinions and not the biased ones. I'm tired of reading biased opinions. I'm sorry. It's just reading all these Twitter feed messages of, you know, these wrestling fans. I know you're happy for these people, but stop being biased. Just put your bias aside and give a real opinion. That's just me. I love giving my real opinions out, but that's about it. I'll talk to you all later. Chase Oliver 68 saying peace.